Hello and welcome to Chapter 4 of the fanfiction Flowers in a Box by Sam Looker 113. Chapter 4 The Mycroft. Present tea time. John told future Sherlock about the thing. We have to go back in Tim and kill the man whose skull it is, said Sherlock. If we can make the skull not existed, that W.E. cannot die. Okay, said John. Don't you have Tahoe friendy with the boo police box? No, he's looking for his friendest, baby. Oh yeah, what about that angler who can travel in time? Said John. No, he's God now. Get it, guys, haha, said Sherlock. So what are we going to do? IDK. Oh, Sherlock, you're such a dumbass. I know, said Sherlock, starting to cry. No, Sherlock, don't cry, said John and hoojed him. Thanks, John, said Sherlock. You're so nice. John liked future Sherlock. He likes him when real Sherlock only likes Jim. This was nice. Thanks, you're nice too. One day later, John was out buying silk when he saw Anderson walking on the street. Wait, I thought we had arrested. Oh no, said John. I have to tell Sherlock. Back at the flat, Zero. Okay, Sherlock. I saw Anderson. Yes, so? But you arrested him because he was a douche. Well, he is, but I never did that. But you did, I was Tear. Oh, maybe that was my past self. Oh yeah, maybe. And then they had sex. One day later, Sherlock was shot dead by Moriarty. You bastard, said John, and he was gone to kill Moriarty. Ha ha! When all of a sudden Sherlock walked through the door. OMG, Sherlock, you died! No, the T was my future self, said Sherlock. Oh yay, said John in huge D-him. John, which are you hugging me, said Sherlock. Oh yeah, John said sadly. He remembered that it was future Sherlock that liked him, not past Sherlock, so yeah, sad. Anyways, Anderson has escaped from jail. We have to find him. Damn, that pimpy escaped. Yeah, I know. Let's go, said Sherlock, and him and John ran off into the horizon. Day later. All of a sudden, John died. It was very sad. Sherlock went to his funeral. Violins played into background, and John was in a casket all of a sudden. Dun, dun, dun! John walked in the door. Hi, Sherlock, he said. Oh no, you died, said Sherlock. I deduce that you are alive. See, that was my past self that died. I am fine. Oh, John. Oh, Sherlock. Ooh, are alive. I know. Isn't it wonderful? Funeral. Yes, it is. Meanwhile, I didn't tell you to kill John. I told you to kill Sailorhawk, said Anderson. I know, I didn't kill him, said Moriarty. I only killed Sherlock. But he's dead. No, he alive, check. Anderson checked. Okay, Ahi is alive. Are you happy now? I'm always as happy, said Moriarty. I have a motorcycle copter who wouldn't be happy. I see, said Anderson. Anyways, I need to kill Mycroft. Why? Because he knows too much, and he is the government, and he is getting suspicious. Okay, I'll pay you. Anderson gave Morty the money, and then he said, good luck. Okay. One day later, Mycroft was found dead and was baked into a cake. The sat he couldn't eat because he was dead the end. And since he ne'er to hit the skull, he couldn't come back. He gave Sherlock his umbrella, and the skull watched the whole team. Watching. Author's note. Thanks for the reviews, guys. Keep it oops! I'm worrying more tonight. Try to make the plot more interesting, so I hope it works. Tell me! 3. Chapter 4. Donovan's in this one, guys. Author's note. OMFG, thanks for reviewing, guys. You are the best! One day later, John was sitting in the flat, watching the news and eating jam and milk. Seriously, it's loud people eat on the show. They need more protein in their diet. Al love a sudden on the news. It said, dun dun dun, twist coming up, guy. Moriarty was data. Lol, I mean dead. Oh, on hole, said John. He couldn't believe it. It said Moriarty had been killed by one of Mycroft's bodyguards, and his mortar copter had been towed by the police, and they were having an action, but that wasn't the important part, because Moriarty was dead. Said John. This suck. IKR, said Sherlock. He was looking at the skull. Oh no. 2 days later, Anderson was dead, and it was sad, but not really Bew case. He was a douche no matter how much dick he got. And it was sad, and Sherlock was there, and so was John at the funeral. We will all miss Anderson. Eve, Neef, we has a jerk, said Lestrade. He was a good dog both in sniffing and when we would have BFDS sex and he would sniff my panties. I mean when he did drugs busts. No, said Donovan, the bollock chick. I looked up her name so I could be like the Active Lao show. No! I know we're all sad, but we have to find out who did it, said Lestrade. A lot of murders have happened, and Sherlock, would you like the case? Yeah, I would, said Sherlock. Yeah, I would. Cool, who do you think it is? I think it's Moriarty, because he is a douche, Sherlock said. But Moriarty died! I know, but some people come back because they touched my skull. I have ale, so, to watch his skull, said John loudly so everyone will believe him. And by skull I mean dick, he said quicklier. We have to take him to a mental hospital, said Donovan. To the mental hospital! Author's note. Thanks, guys. I hope it's getting better. Tell me the bold font is working, and if it's more like Tesso now because it has Donovan in it. Author's note. Thanks so much for irritating, guys. 30 plus reviews. One day later, Sherlock was chilling in the mental hospital. Wham! All of a sudden, John came crashing through the wall. That is, and he was in a motorcycle copter like a boss. Lol, I love that song. Yeah, to a bagel like a boss. John should eat more bag L's instead of eating jam and milk. Oh, said Sherlock. Oh yeah, said John. Hop on. Fuck the police. Said John. What are police called in England or wherever this is law? Anyways, they are all off into the night. How did you get this? Said Sherlock coolly. Well, I went to the silly bed thinker and got it from Moriarty or the police. Well, I have to reread my own fanfiction. I am such a satis, said John. But how did you get money? Not from Anderson, even though he's a pimp. I sold the skull. Why would you sell the skull? Sherlock said. Why? To pay off for the hilly. We have to get back my skull, said Sherlock, and they were out to dramatically go when they saw dun 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 Anderson. Chapter 7. The Anderson. On the street where saw Anderson. Anderson, what are you doing? Said Sherlock. Well, Freaklock, I was just going to fuck a dinosaur, said Anderson. On the relay, said Sherlock. No, not relay, oh you bum-ass. British people are so wired, no, they say stuff like bum-ass, said Anderson. Oh, said Sherlock. Anyway, so what are you doing? What do you mean, said Anderson. I mean, why are you on the street? I arrested you, said Sherlock. Oh, I got released, said Anderson. But you died. No, I didn't. Why did you think I did it? Said Anderson. Because, you did. It was on Foxhole News. It has to be true, yeah. Oh, I didn't buy, said Anderson, and he whacked off. Well, said John. What do we do now? We find my skull, snapped Sherlock. Guys, keep reading. I got a twist coming up. Hint, it has to odd with skulls. Chapter 8. The Scene. 2 minutes before, Lestrade was walking on the Surrey when he was murdered by an unknown killer that he could not see, so he did the end. I'm sad that I had to kill him, but it was to make the plot more interesting. 3 minutes after, John and Sherlock went to the pawn shop or whatever it's called and then they got back to school and they went back to their flat on their motorcycle tour and they were into a flat. It too was pretty and had many bucks in it. It also had some other stuff. Anyway, then John saw it down and then Sherlock said, "Oh look, Lestrade is dead," said Sherlock. What? Said John. Oh no. So they went to the crime scene and they saw Anderson there and he was sad and Donovan and everyone else too. I can't remember who the other players are. Hello, Sherlock, said Anderson loudly. Do you know the killer? No, said Sherlock. But then he saw a little note written in blood. Law, how did you spell it? And it was in handwriting that looked familiar to him. John, he said, look stuff. John looked at it. Chapter 9. The Molly. 2 hours later. Ha ha ha, I just thought of a great pun. Anderson is a pimp, so he fucks dino horse. Lol, I bet he likes My Little Pony, or that one show we hit the dinos in it, or maybe Glare. I think they meant tea and dinos in one episode. Although I had Glare. That is, we hit and the son must love it because Fuke and their son Sherlock is your deli or jam or he's a pimpatur. Anyways, Sherlock was back in the flat with John. The motor copper was parked outside, and anyway, they were in the flat. Beware, I am coming for. Lol, that's what she said. Yo, says Sherlock as he read it aloud, the note in blood. I wonder, but yo, smarty Sherlock, I'm sure you will find the answer. Sherlock should be in Hufflepuff, said John. Sherlock, said Sherlock. Oh, this is getting good. Whoops, I meant Sherlock. Anyway, let's go to the Molly lab. I bet you can make us some coffee and maybe jam and milk it all and tell us about the note. I bet John would want Sherlock to be a Slytherin because Slytherins are lot of for life. Okay, to the Molly lab, said Sherlock, and they went on their copper to the Molly lab. At Molly's lab, Jim from it was not there, because he's dead. But Molly wasn't either because she was dead too. No, Molly, said Sherlock. She was not hot, but he mad good coffee. Poor Sherlock, or should I say Sherlock? Dramatic winky face, love. But then they turned the corner to find none other than this is the jib twist. Lestrade. Chapter 10. The Lestrade. At the Molly Lamb. Hullo, Lestrade, said Sherlock. He could not set he dead for long because he is not only not a bitchy character. Hello, Sherlock, said Lestrade. Oh wait, you dead. Why are you not dead? Said Sherlock. Well, you see, I was in hell when all of a sudden I saw Moriarty floating down on beautiful white wings that we attached to his motorcyclocopter, and he raided me from all Peridion, the Destia for Dave, and whatever Lestrade Moriarty is. Wow, really? Said Sherlock. No, of course not, Dumas, said Lestrade. God, you can be so dumb sometimes, said Sherlock. But you were dead, for reals. Are you just trolling me? Said John. And no one calls my boyfriend a dumbass except for me. And then he punched Lestrade. But boyfriend, said Lestrade. Oh! No, I mean friend, the hat is a boy, said John. Oh, okay, anyways, we hear that. Did you saw we said dead, said Lestrenda. Be okay. You were, I think. No, I weren't. You should be in a mental hospital. Yo-yo, already put me in one though, said She-Hulk. Oh, I should not burn! I meant burn, lol. See ya, John. You guys are nuts. I never did that, boy, yet, said Lestrade. What is happening? Said Sherlock. I don't know. Let's get out of here. See ya, John. Author's note. Keep reviewing, guys. I got that twist coming up. Chapter 11. The Mycroft 2. One day later, Sherlock and John were walking on the street when they saw Mycroft. Mycroft, I thought you were dead, said Sherlock. No, I'm not, said Mycroft. But you were a baked into a kayak, Sherlock said. I would like to be baked into a cake so I could eat it, but anyways, I'm not dead, said Mycroft. You must be deaf. You turned Mycroft, said Sherlock. Be okay, past Mycroft is on a diet. You're nuts, said Mycroft. No, I'm not. I decided it, so it must be true, yeah, said Sherlock gladly. I love you, Sherlock, said John. See, John agrees with me. I did the do get, said Sherlock. Mycroft wackled away, twirling his umbrella, whose name is Leslie, and he likes to cuddle it and knit it and pretend it is Lestrade. Sherlock and John sat down. This sucks, said Sherlock. I guess me his skull rarely gets around. I know, right? Said John. This is worse than when I walked in on my parents. John, I don't care, said Sherlock. Making Oreos, said John. Oh, said Sherlock. Well, wait, don't you have a bro named Oreo? How did you know? Said John. Be of a case. I could know everything, John, said John. Because I know everything. But there was one thing Sherlock didn't know, other than that John had the heart for me here, love. But it was still hidden in the shadows, waiting for the right moment. Chapter 12. The short one. One day later. Sherlock and John were sitting there like hobos because they totally are low. Sherlock, we need to go home, said John. Why, said Sherlock. Because I forgot my towel, said John. So, said Sherlock. But I need tea, said Sherlock. I mean John. Fine, let's go, said John, at the flat. Sherlock and John walked in to find Sherlock and John. Author's note. I'm sorry this iron is so hard, but I'm written a super long, baby. Long one for you guys later. So yeah, happy you like it. Chapter 13. The Confession. At the flat. What I do not understand, said Sherlock. I can't do it, Deuce. What is happening? John sighed and ran a hand through his sandy hair. I can't even understand what they're saying, Sherlock. This has gone on far too long. Sherlock nodded and tightened his scarf a bit. It was silent in the flat for a while as both parties stared each other down. Sherlock's twisted, squinty brown ones into Sherlock's own bright blue ones. Sherlock, what is happening? said John. I don't know, said Sherlock. I love you, John. I love you too, said John. Wow, they really are nothing like us, said Sherlock. It's fascinating. Yeah, nothing like us, said John with a hint of sadness in his voice. Then he reached into the pocket of his jeans and pulled out a gun. Right, down to business. What are you fruit yourselves? Said Sherlock. No, we aren't, John sighed. But too, we touched the skull, said John. Oh, you guys think that touching the skull makes you travel in time? Of course it doesn't! Why would it do that? Will we thought, said Sherlock. No, what it does do is make clones. Clones? Said John. Yeah, sure. Anyways, every time someone touches the skull, it creates a new clone. Each clone is further separated from the original. You two are the last ones of the batch. I initially discovered you doppelgangers after hearing that I arrested Anderson because he is a douche. While Anderson does have a Turkish nature, I have never arrested him, and after running into the real one, never having been arrested, I assumed that we had clones running around. What I never suspected is that we're also clones of Mycroft, Lestrade, Mrs. Hudson, and even Molly, said Sherlock. We had to get rid of them, eventually, so we hired assassins to kill them off. But more kept coming, and we were having a hard time keeping track. That's when Sammy came in, said John. With those words outstepped something from the shadows. It walked on all fours and carved long scratches in the floor with each swipe of its long, slender hands. From its vaguely human arms, bones screamed out from thinly veiled skin. Its thin skin. Oh God, its skin. Pale and impossibly smooth, it stretched over each fragile bone and organ like latex over a balloon. A long, thin tongue swathed forward from its mouth and dripped across the floor with a hiss, and from beneath its long hair, two pupilless red eyes glared out. Meet Sammy, said Sherlock. She followed you around everywhere, and then recorded your every action in an online diary. By reading it, we could figure out where you were at all times. John patted her gently on the head, and Sammy hissed in return. She whispered in a crooked alien voice that chilled like ice. Hello, boys. John then walked over to the shelf and gripped the skull tight with one definite hand. He glanced over at Sherlock, who nodded in agreement. No! Said Sherlock. No! Said John, and then John smashed the skull on the ground. Chapter 14. The Flowers in a Box. John awoke to the sound of paper fluttering. His head was still spinning from the remnants of the nightmare that plagued him that night. He had been slumped in the armchair. John rubbed his neck. From somewhere behind him, Sherlock murmured, "You fell asleep." John looked behind him to find Sherlock sitting at the desk. "I had the weirdest dream," John said. "Your skull could do this stuff." He found himself grasping to remember. "A package came for you in the mail," Sherlock said without looking up from the case file. John noted the two nicotine patches on his arm before getting up. "Guess the Charovsky murders aren't a 3-patch problem yet," he thought. The box was sitting on the floor. John knelt down and thrust open the tape. He unfolded the brown cardboard to reveal flowers. A box of flowers. That's a new one? The army doctor then swept the flowers aside to find a manuscript hidden beneath. It was dirty and rugged up, with a lazy sketch of a skull on the front and just a hint of a tongue print beneath. Flowers in a Box by Sam Licker 113. John's eyes drifted to the skull on the shelf as he flipped to the first page, and as he read on and on for the next hour, the skull still stayed there watching. Watching. Whatting? Watting. Fin! Author's note. So yeah, guys, I suppose this is the end. It's been a fun ride. Tumblr, pinworthy.com, remove spaces, love, Macy. That's the end of this fanfic. I will be back as soon as I find something else that is worth reading.